How many times have you waited for something to show up? Proof that you're on the right path. A clear signal that you're doing the right thing. You check your phone, replay conversations, read between moments, hoping the universe will hand you an answer. But here's the truth. It rarely does. Signs are never guaranteed. Life doesn't pause for your clarity. When you spend all your energy waiting, you miss the only thing that matters: what you actually do. The world doesn't light up just because you want it to. It's moving. People are moving. Opportunities are moving. And while you stand frozen, waiting for confirmation, the chance to act quietly slips away. What if instead of waiting for signals, you became the signal yourself? Not flashy or loud, but deliberate, intentional, present. Every choice you make, every action you take, these are the messages the world can read. You don't need signs. You need courage, focus, and the willingness to move without guarantees. Waiting for signs feels safe because it shifts responsibility away from you. Becoming the signal is terrifying because it puts everything on your shoulders. But in that weight is power. The power to create momentum, to influence outcomes, to finally live in a way that moves the world instead of just hoping it moves for you. The real question isn't whether the universe will speak. It's whether you're ready to start speaking for yourself. One of the clearest patterns in human behavior is our tendency to wait for validation. Psychologists call it external locus of control, believing outcomes are dictated by outside forces rather than our own actions. Studies show that people with a strong external locus tend to procrastinate, experience more stress, and achieve less because they are always waiting for confirmation before acting. Take entrepreneurs, for example. Those who wait for perfect market signals or clear endorsements often miss critical windows. Airbnb's founders were repeatedly rejected by investors before they acted decisively and scaled their idea themselves. They didn't wait for signs, they created momentum. Similarly, in everyday life, students who wait for motivation often fall behind, while those who start with small, deliberate steps, even without inspiration, build compounding results over time. Becoming the signal is about shifting the control inward. It's not mystical, it's practical. You can measure it in simple actions: taking responsibility for your decisions, showing up consistently, refining your skills, and acting even when clarity is incomplete. In behavioral science, this mirrors the self-efficacy principle. People who believe in their ability to influence outcomes achieve more, not because the world signals them, but because they move first. The paradox is subtle. Letting go of the need for external signs doesn't make life unpredictable. It makes it responsive. The more you act intentionally, the more the world responds. You don't need a glowing signal in the sky. You need to build the signal in yourself. One choice at a time. Consider the story of Malala Yousafzai. She didn't wait for the world to signal that girls' education mattered. She became the signal. Despite threats and immense danger, she spoke, acted, and drew attention not because she was waiting for approval, but because she chose to embody the change she wanted. Her courage rippled outward, shaping narratives, influencing policies, and inspiring millions. The world responded, not with a sign, but to her consistent presence and action. In a quieter example, think of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. He didn't wait for life to hand him clarity or comfort. Every morning he wrote reflections, disciplined his mind, and acted according to principle, even amid chaos and war. His journals, meditations, became signals themselves, transmitting resilience and clarity centuries later. He didn't depend on the universe to guide him. He created guidance through deliberate, disciplined living. Even in everyday life, signals can be small yet potent. A teacher who consistently invests attention in struggling students, a parent who models patience and integrity, an employee who takes initiative without waiting for praise. These people radiate influence because they are signals. Their presence shifts environments subtly but powerfully. The deeper truth. Waiting for external signs is a passive hope. Becoming the signal is active creation. It is the difference between looking at shadows on the wall and stepping into the sun to cast your own. Life doesn't wait, and clarity rarely arrives fully formed. The only way to move through it meaningfully is to become the source, the node of action, the unmistakable pulse others can sense, even without words. The principle is simple, but often ignored. You grow by acting, not by waiting. Life rewards momentum, not hesitation. Start small. A student struggling with writing doesn't wait for inspiration. They write one paragraph a day. A professional seeking influence doesn't wait for recognition. They consistently contribute ideas, take initiative, and refine skills. Action itself becomes the signal. Accountability is key. When you stop waiting for signs, you must own your choices. Each decision, each effort carries weight. Research in behavioral psychology shows that people who track their progress and take responsibility for their results consistently outperform those who rely on external validation. Growth happens when we measure our impact honestly and adjust, not when we wait for a pat on the back. Discomfort is inevitable. Taking initiative without a guarantee often feels risky. But discomfort is a signal too, the universe responding to your presence and growth. Every challenge, every awkward conversation, every failure is feedback. Those who embrace it learn faster, act smarter, and develop resilience. Consistency beats perfection. Becoming the signal isn't a one-time act, it's a lifestyle. Daily actions, small choices, and deliberate habits accumulate into influence, confidence, and presence. Whether it's sending that email, starting that project, or speaking your truth, each act shapes timelines in ways waiting never could. Ultimately, self-improvement is about shifting from reactive to proactive. Stop hoping the world will guide you. Start guiding yourself. Your focus, effort, and courage are the signals the world can read. When you embody this, your life aligns. Not because signs appear, but because you've become the source of movement and clarity. The world rarely hands clarity on a silver platter. Waiting for signs is natural, but it keeps you tethered to chance. Real change begins when you stop expecting the world to guide you and start guiding yourself. Every choice you make, every small act of courage, becomes a signal, not just to others, but to yourself. Look at people who made an impact. They didn't wait for permission, for approval, or for perfect timing. They acted. The quiet teacher who shows up every day. They all became the signals their worlds responded to. Their lives were not easier. They were deliberate. They embraced responsibility, faced discomfort, and trusted themselves enough to move forward without guarantees. Your growth follows the same principle. Stop outsourcing validation. Start taking deliberate steps, even when uncertainty looms. Own your actions, learn from missteps, and let consistency compound into presence. Influence, momentum, and opportunity flow to those who act with intention. The deeper truth is simple. Waiting leaves you static, reacting. Becoming the signal makes you dynamic, creating, shaping, and participating in life. The universe doesn't need to send a sign. You do. When you step fully into this role, life begins to respond. You are the pulse. You are the movement. You are the signal. The question is no longer whether a sign will appear. The real question is, will you choose to be the sign?